Welcome to the Coffee and Questions podcast. I am your host, Mikel, and my mission with this podcast is simple: to help realtors and loan officers across the world tap into the value Instagram can have for them and their business. To me, organic business that comes to us is the name of the game. On this show, you're going to hear from myself, other experts across social media, and also others that are just like you, selling real estate and doing loans and doing it at a high level on social media.
Help people win. The backstory is I graduated from college. I had no idea that I would become a mortgage professional. And I got into the mortgage business the summer after I graduated. It was the worst economy since the Great Depression and today's economy. And, I had to have a positive attitude because everybody thought the sky was falling, and, interest rates were 21%, government loans, 16, 17%, 3 or 4 points. I mean, the sky was falling. Everybody had a bad attitude. Nobody's going to buy, nobody's going to sell, blah, 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 blah. And thankfully, my grandmother taught me very young in my life that I should always have a positive attitude. So I had a really cool button made up when I was calling on realtors and builders. And the button said, "Rumor has it we're in a recession. I'm not participating." And I just connected with agents and builders and even borrowers that didn't know whether or not they should or they shouldn't. And when you take something that globally feels negative and in your niche, in your market, you turn it into something positive, then you have far less competition. You have far less friction. And it's a great opportunity in tough markets to differentiate. And so I did that. And for 12 years, we built the business, started in 80, went all the way to 92. We helped just shy of 6,000 homeowners buy real estate. I had 13 realtors that I did that business with. And I made a decision when I was 23, brand new out of the blocks. And this is something I want everybody in your tribe to understand. I made a decision that I think changed the course of my life forever. And it was because of a mentor of mine. Simply asked, "What do you want to pursue, transactions or relationships?" And I was kind of stupefied. I mean, don't they both mean the same thing? Doesn't one mean the other? And he goes, "Not really. You can pursue transactions and make a living, but you can pursue relationships and make a fortune." And so I chose relationships, and it made all the difference in the world. And that's why I could fund almost 6,000 loans with 13 realtors, because we had deep, deep, deep high trust relationships, and conversion was off the grid. Buyers came into the deal and not shopping, not trying to talk to 10 lenders. It was lock and load, lock and load, lock and load, lock and load. Halfway through that, my company said, "Would you start training the other LOs?" And I kept my business going. And every quarter I trained, 10 people, and I really got fulfilled from that. And so I made just a career decision at the age of 30, 34. And it was like, okay, I've made a lot of money in the real estate business. What do I want to do next? So I chose, I'm going to start a company to help loan originators and real estate agents win. And 30 years later, we're still doing it.
Oh my gosh, what an incredible story. And I had to take and literally had to write that sentence you said down, because that was so fire of What do you want to pursue, transactions or relationships? So I feel like I need to put this on my whiteboard not behind me, but over there, and just live by that, because it's something that I live every day in my life. And sometimes it's easy to know that that's how you live, but then to hear somebody quantify it and actually make it make sense to you, it's so incredibly powerful. And hearing you say that, it just makes me want to keep doing what I'm doing, and keep pouring into people that way. And so one of the things that I want to talk about here with this is you are incredible at building relationships. No question about that. And social media, as we know, is kind of what the world is that we live in right now. There's really no way to get away from that. There's really no way to avoid it, if you ask me at this point. And one of the things that a lot of lenders and a lot of real estate agents nowadays are leaning into is Instagram, because Instagram is a place where they can genuinely build relationships. So I would love to hear from your perspective, trust. If we talk about trust, right? How can someone post on social media without ruining their professional approach, right? Because I think that that's a big problem that a lot of people have, they feel like they have to be super professional all the time because it takes away from their authority, or it takes away from how, good they are at what they do if they don't. So I'm just curious what your take would be on that. And then I think we'll just keep going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. So I think social media is an effective tool if you understand what to do and how to do it and when to do it and why to do it. Right. So before I jump in exactly to whatever platform you guys use, Instagram obviously is one of the big ones. There's a sales philosophy that has a lot to do with why social would work or not work, and the sales philosophy is to create trust and to create connection. You have to turn down the promotion and turn up the emotion. So that's one of the main tenets of high trust selling. Is it's not about you, it's not about promoting you, it's about connecting with people. At the end of the day, if you don't connect, whatever your platform, face to face, Instagram, LinkedIn, it doesn't matter. If you don't connect, you're not going to get followed. And if you don't stay in touch, you're going to lose the momentum. And if you don't leverage relationships that you have by celebrating victories that you create and milestones that people go through, then you miss the mojo of what social is all about. So I think that social connection is about, it's taking the spotlight off of you and it's putting it on the tribe, whatever your followership is. You want to impact them. You want to help them win. You want to give them social proof on how safe it is to be your follower and to be connected. And you can do that with client testimonials all day long, client videos, if you want to post client videos. But I think we got to keep it a little less, I don't know what word to bring up right now, but a little less cheesy and a little bit more valuable. And I think that's the missing link a lot in social. I always try to post something that is highly motivating, that engages the follower to go out and do something. I always share one personal story a week of something that I'm going through.
Love it.
I post 5 stories a day on Instagram, and they can be short, they can be sweet, they can be a picture, they can be a thought, whatever that is, 5 a day. People love going through stories and just seeing kind of what's happening and whatnot. I do 1 leadership post a week, and I do that on Instagram and LinkedIn. And I shake it up a little bit. Like one of the posts I did 4 weeks ago, I don't even look for these things. And I think that's the other thing is what's happening that you could turn into a lesson, right? So I go to the out the back door of our office, and I'm throwing some trash away. And in the trash can is a sign that's, I don't know, 2 feet by a foot. And it says, "A great love story never ends." And it was in the trash can, the dumpster. So I'm thinking, if somebody threw away a piece of art that said "a good love story never ends," there's a good chance that love story ended. And so I just said, why do love stories run into trouble? Why do marriages run into trouble? And all I did was share 5 things that my wife and I do routinely to keep our marriage solid. And I got 3,700 views in a day. And it was just, I didn't even go looking for it. And so some of the spontaneity required for social can be very, very, very powerful. And then I spend 3 blocks of 15 minutes a day replying.
If you enjoyed this episode, please go follow my guests on social media. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please consider leaving us a review wherever you consume this content.